Hi, I'm Daniel from ligo.co.uk, and these are the RSPB Puffin Jr binoculars. As you might be able to tell from the junior in the name, and indeed by looking at the binoculars, these are designed specifically for children. There are plenty of children's binoculars available on the market, and they're a great way to introduce kids to the natural world and birdwatching as a hobby. But with so many models available, some starting as low as £10, it can be difficult to choose which are the right ones to get. As these are from the RSPB, we had high hopes for them, and they retail around the £30 mark. But are they any good? Let's take a closer look. Let's start out with a look at the design and build quality of the Puffin Jrs. The RSPB state that they're designed specifically for children aged 7 to 12, and they come available in two different colours, a soft yellow and a light green, which I'm sure is an effort to make them a bit more visually appealing to their intended users. We were able to recruit a 6-year-old product tester to help us review the Puffin Jrs, and he opted for the soft yellow, so that's what I've got here. The build quality is really important here, probably more important than it would be in an adult pair of binoculars, given that kids probably aren't going to be as careful when using them. Since they retail at only £30, I wasn't quite sure what to expect from the Puffin Jrs, but I'm pleased to say I'm very impressed with the build quality. Strike a good balance between remaining lightweight, so they're suitable for kids, while still feeling nice and durable. They don't feel like something that's going to break on you while you're using them, which is the case with some of those £10 and under binoculars that you can get on the likes of Amazon. They're designed specifically for smaller hands, so obviously that's not ideal for me, but for a child, pretty perfectly sized, and when they've outgrown them, they'll be ready for a more grown-up pair of binoculars anyway. The focus wheel was a little bit stiff to start off with, and it maybe not as smooth as some of the other binoculars I've tested, but it did ease up after a few uses, and our product tester was able to get the hang of it after a few demonstrations and a bit of practice. The downside to the Puffin Jrs is that they're not waterproof, although that does tend to be the norm for binoculars at this price, so I wouldn't advise using them in the rain, although they do come with this nice little carry case to give them a bit of protection. So that's all about the design, but what about the optics? Well, it's worth noting that the Puffin Jrs use real glass in their lenses, whereas some other cheaper kids binoculars use plastic lenses, which just aren't going to perform as well. And it's worth noting that at £30, the optics on these aren't going to be on the same level as even entry-level binoculars, but for those you're talking 2 or 3 times the price. For £30 or so, I was really impressed with these. Now for 8 times magnification, which is generally what we recommend for birdwatching, as it strikes a decent balance between giving you a good image of whatever it is that you're looking at, while also being nice and easy to keep the image steady and stable. That's even more important for kids, as it makes the binoculars that much easier to use, so good choice here. And the close focus on these is decent enough at 4 meters for investigating nearer objects as well. Obviously, these aren't the kind of binoculars that I would use myself, but we do like these reviews to be as in-depth as possible, so we recruited our e-commerce manager's 6-year-old son to help us put the Puffin Jrs through their paces. Although he is a year outside that 7 to 12 age bracket that the RSPB recommend for these, he still found them really easy to use thanks to the ergonomic design. As I mentioned earlier, the focus wheel is quite stiff to start with, but if you're using it for any extended period of time, it does ease up and get easier to use, and he was able to get to grips with the binoculars pretty quickly. His verdict on the image quality was awesome. I've given them a little bit of a test myself, and I have to say that for £30 or so pair of binoculars, yeah, they are very impressive. Certainly not a significant step down from proper adult binoculars by any means, so very good quality, live up to the RSPB name. The one thing that I would say lets them down a little bit is the included wrist strap, which I've got here. As you can see, it is probably a bit too large for even an adult, let alone a child, and there's no way of adjusting that, so I'd maybe suggest if you want to keep the binoculars safe and stop them getting dropped, maybe purchase a wrist strap of your own to attach. But other than that, very impressed with the performance and build quality of these during testing. So there we have it, the RSPB Puffin Jrs, a great pair of kids binoculars that will be a fantastic introduction to the world of birdwatching. If you've got any questions or comments about this product, pop them below this video, and to get your hands on some of these for yourself, head over to ligo.co.uk.